Well, I know I'm standing between you and the dinner and cocktail, so I'll try to keep it short, keep it crisp. There has already been a lot of discussion on digital innovation, digital transformation. I think what G7CR does is basically enables organizations to achieve their whole digital transformation journey. So there are a bunch of slides here, but I'll quickly talk about who we are, what we do, and some business use cases that might be relevant to you all. And we are happy to really assist in organizations like yourself, take those use cases forward. So G7CR is a Bangalore-based cloud solution provider. In fact, we are the largest direct cloud solution provider for Microsoft. We do roughly $60 million, a little upwards of $60 million in revenue, driving digital transformation efforts across organizations that are from different segments, primarily enterprises. 60% of the revenue comes from enterprises, but then if I look at our customer base, 90% of the customer base is actually SMB. What do? We do pretty much anything and everything on Microsoft Azure. Exclusively we've worked on Microsoft Azure, not only to build confidence in Microsoft, but also to build confidence in business community, saying that, hey, look, we are one technology shop. We work with Microsoft. We built our expertise on this, and we can deliver anything and everything on Microsoft technologies. There are a few slides here. From a cloud services perspective, we basically work across all solution areas, namely infrastructure, data and AI being our specialization, security, and of course, digital and apps. We talk about development as well as modernization. A lot of the applications, a lot of your firms probably are using our applications that are either monolithic or our legacy applications. We basically help them modernize to migrate them to cloud on a more scalable infrastructure. In fact, going back to the discussion we had, or the panel discussion we had earlier today with respect to digital disruption, of course there were a lot of concerns with respect to whether it fits your needs, whether you have the talent pool, what are typically the things that you would consider. Well, as a partner, a Microsoft partner, and as a advocate for cloud, this is what we do. We basically simplify this whole journey, from ensuring that we do the right sizing, the total cost of ownership. If you don't see the benefit, of course, you don't move forward. But we do the entire exercise of total cost of ownership. We create the necessary bills of materials, the bills of quantity, and so on and so forth. And eventually, basically, if you think that it kind of addresses your business as well as commercial priorities, well, we take the next step. We take it to migration, and eventually, basically, manage it throughout manage the workload throughout the life cycle. So that's part of our cloud services offering. If you see, we conduct a lot of workshops, assessments, design, as well as POCs. And I'll focus more on POCs as we move forward, because that's probably something that is going to be relevant to you all. I'm sure cloud as well as digital transformation is not new, but some of the use cases might be, from a data and AI perspective, might be of great interest to you all. So we'll quickly move to that. Again, from a cloud deployment services perspective, we pretty much do everything. Greenfield deployments, migrations from anywhere to Azure. In fact, we've done almost 500 migrations from AWS onto Azure, some of the most complex ones being Oyo, Daily Hunt, and so on and so forth. In fact, we work with a lot of the digital natives. You name it, whether it's Udaan, the company name is Hiveloop Technologies, but they go by Udaan, one of the first unicorns in India. Daily Hunt, Oyos, the likes, we work with all of them. They are hosted on Azure with us, and we provide the managed services for them. Moving on, again, from a managed services offering, it pretty much covers the length and breadth of what any customer would need when they are hosting on cloud. Mind you, managed services, there are elements here that we charge nothing for. We basically do it free of cost. There are certain elements here where we basically, there is a nominal charge associated. But primary source, and again, I think if anybody has seen the booth outside, we're saying that, hey, look, if you have a data and AI business use case, right, we're happy to give you $10,000 of credits for you to basically run a POC. We'll be the ones who would be helping you with the POC. Of course, it will be our responsibility to ensure that the scope of work clearly identifies what the success criteria for those POCs would be, and ensuring that we deliver that. And for that, we are, of course, there is a card that we're giving away which has $10,000 on it. You just have to scan the QR code, enter your business use case. If you do not have a use case for data and AI implementation, you can still use that card, raise a business consulting request, and we'll be happy to do that at no cost. These are some of the migration projects that we did. If you see quite a lot from AWS, a lot from on-prem, and a few from GCP as well. But the new deployments, almost 570 of them in the last 1.5 year alone. Why G7 here? Well, as I mentioned, we're the most certified partners of Microsoft. We have gold competency on pretty much anything and everything that Microsoft has. From our advanced specialization perspective, we have third highest number of advanced specializations, as well as we are also an Azure Expert managed service provider, which means that puts us in, Microsoft roughly has around 17,000 partners across the globe. There are only 90 of them. The number keeps changing. It's sometime, 2 months back it was 92, now it's 90. It might go to 91, but don't quote me on that. But approximately 90 partners are AEMSP, which is Azure Expert Managed Service Provider certified. So we're one of them. We've also, we started our cloud business back in 2016. As early as 2019 and 2020, we already won the Country Partner of the Year for Microsoft, which in itself is a big achievement, given the fact that we work with a lot of, the competition is a lot of large volume licensing providers who have far bigger businesses to work with. Having said that, I think the edge we have, or the competitive advantage we have, is that most of the LSPs in the market work as transactional partner, while we work with customers to ensure that the end-to-end, the entire life cycle on cloud is managed for the customer. I think this is where I'd like to spend some time. This is where we have multiple use cases that we've already delivered on. Some use cases which we have completed POC but not yet moved to development. I'll talk about those as well. I'll just skip this, and skip this. Okay, there we go. Lovely. So this is an interesting use case with Saudi Airlines. What they were really struggling with is the executives didn't have adequate information, although they had a lot of data, but didn't have adequate analytics built in place to give them, information which could be used for effective decision making. So this was one of the projects. It eventually moved from being a data analytics project to a full-fledged AI ML implementation project. So initially we started with data warehousing. We basically got all the different sources of data together. We put that into data warehouse, built the entire ETL pipeline as well as the analytics on top of it, which solved their immediate problem. And then we basically built on top of it, added a AI ML layer to ensure that there are recommendations. A classic example is what are the number of passengers that are likely to book a flight in a particular sector? How many passengers are likely to really turn up for a flight, and so on and so forth. So that recommendation engine was part of this project. I think the next one is equally interesting, which is we're working extensively with the Ministry of Labor, and this is an ongoing project. If anybody has heard of eShram application. Now, eShram application is government's initiative of creating a database for unorganized workforce of India. There are around 80 million, as per government records, there are around 80 million unorganized workforce in India. An unorganized workforce typically would be your Sabziwala, your Pan Bidi shop, your auto driver, and so on and so forth. I think the objective behind government trying to build the database for unorganized workforce is to ensure that any public benefit related schemes are effectively transferred, and in general there should be a record of what percentage of the overall population really sits in that category. So that was an interesting project. This also involved working closely with UIDAI, because all the unorganized workforce, the only really identity card they really had was Aadhaar card, and the submissions on the eShram portal are done using the Aadhaar card, which then basically talks to UIDAI database. And again, getting to UIDAI database is a difficult task, but of course, with working with Ministry of Labor, we managed to achieve that. It pulls up all the information related to that individual, their banking, I mean, the entire history of an individual, if they have a banking record, everything basically comes through. And that's how government is able to utilize this data, not only to transfer direct benefits, but also to, run targeted campaign. This data is now being utilized by other ministries who are integrating with this database to run different schemes that may have for this particular population. I'll skip this. Again, this is an interesting one. It was a data extraction project. As you can see, FairCent is India's first RBI-registered peer-to-peer lending platform. They basically provide a virtual marketplace for borrowers and lenders. Here, the primary requirement was, again, any KYC documents submitted had to be manually entered into the system. Data scraping tool or the custom tool that we built helped them basically automate that entire process, which basically means we scrape the data from all the KYC documents and automatically enter without manual intervention. That was another interesting use case. Diksha application. So not sure if you've heard of this, but this is again Ministry of Education's initiative back in 2020 when COVID struck. Ministry of Education took up an initiative of building a virtual platform for learning for primarily primary school students. At the time, they had around 6 million students that were on this platform, the education platform. One of the requirements here was text-to-speech and speech-to-text, and as well as converting everything in, making it multilingual to ensure that students across different states, speaking different languages are still able to access at least primary education. So this is an initiative. I think we've already done 7 languages, text-to-speech, speech-to-text, and so on and so forth. This is an ongoing project. We'll continue to work on integrating more languages. Again, I'll skip this. This is just an information requisition bot, much like ChatGPT. The only difference is that ChatGPT is universal. Information requisition bot, when we build a custom solution for you, it is going to help your employees, your customers to really interact with you without really having to pick up the phone. They can simply chat. We work with your database and ensure that relevant information is made available to your customer. As I said, much like ChatGPT works, as I said, ChatGPT is more generic. This becomes more custom to your organizational needs. Again, there is a healthcare assistant. I'll skip this. Interesting. So this is, again, a transition from a traditional bot to AI assistant. Now, what is the difference? So the difference is AI assistant brings a human touch, whereas your smart bot or the traditional bot would return results which were scripted, right? Here you can be more conversational. I've put up some examples here of situations where we've deployed. So there was a service maintenance. This is for, I forget the name, but there is a client who works extensively, who's got an extensive garage. So that's where it was implemented for service and maintenance. For service test ride, it is with one of the key players in the automobile sector. Chatbot, again, it's common. This is an interesting one. So while this is one example of, summarizing videos, and in different languages dubbing, but there's an interesting POC that we completed this week. In fact, Tuesday, we gave the demo to the customer. It's actually working with a spiritual foundation, right? So I'm not sure whether you've heard of Isha Foundation. Have you heard? Anyone? Sadhguru? So similar to Isha Foundation, there's something called as infinitism. And infinitism basically has, a spiritual guru who does a lot of preaching, does a lot of sermons. These are typically 2-hour-long videos, much like what Sadhguru does. I'm sorry, I'm drawing the parallel. They may not be equal in stature, but just for ease of understanding. So these videos, the use case was very interesting because when a spiritual guru is doing or giving the sermons or preachings, they may talk on any subject at any given point of time during the course of 2 hours video, right? The use case that came to us was that we needed to use AI to search the video for relevant content and then index it and catalog it. So for example, if the spiritual guru spoke about health, then it needs to be cataloged under health. So instead of the 2-hour video, what the users get is basically snippets of video, snippets of that 2-hour video where, only health is being spoken about. So instead of user having to listen to 2 hours of video full, they can go to the relevant section because of the indexing and cataloging that we're doing, a relevant section, and listen to what is relevant to them instead of having to listen to 2 hours and 200 odd videos. So they had terabytes of data to work with. Our initial POC was done on 30 GBs of data, video data. The POC outcome was successful. They're going to production on 6th of December. So that was a very, very interesting one. It was a use case that we had not done before. So it was quite complex, but we did manage to do it in a span of 3 weeks. Data scraping is pretty much similar to what we spoke about in FairSense. This is again an interesting one, which is to do with visual recognition. So again, there was a use case where by looking at a bowl of food, you had to basically calculate the nutritional value of that food. So that's this use case. Again, in this case, I think we got an accuracy of roughly 83%. And lastly, I'll skip this. Again, conversational bot is something that we are probably all using when we are interacting with our banks, when we are interacting with our telecom service providers, so on and so forth. So in summary, there is a lot we do from assisting customers in their digital transformation journey. It's not about just selling cloud. It's about what we do after you're on cloud. So your entire journey from migrating to cloud all the way to driving innovation on cloud is something that we make simpler without really, and again, there were concerns around commercial impact, there were concerns around talent pool and so on and so forth. I mean, no, unfortunately, that's none of that is a challenge for us. We've managed to do that for almost 1,500 of our customers, driving $60-odd million of revenue, all in the last 6 to 8 years. So if there is anything that, if you have a use case, we have a booth outside, there is a data and AI card, all you have to do is just scan. If you don't have a use case, still scan the card, make use of that $10,000, and we will ensure that we do the necessary business consulting if need be. In fact, in some cases, we've brought in KPMGs and PwCs of the world to ensure that if there is a industry-specific consulting that's needed, where a larger workflow has to be consulted upon, we brought them on board at our own cost as well. So none of them is a challenge. Again, the idea is to just tell you that, hey, look, we are simple and easy to work with, and we'll be happy to be of service to you all. I'll pause there. I think there are still some more slides, but I don't want to keep you waiting. I'm sure the dinner and cocktail is already waiting for you. So thank you very much for patiently hearing me out. Much appreciated.
Ladies and